Howdy, I'm Clint Walker and you're watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Clint, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, Netanyahu speech tries to shed reality on Obama administration and Iran. And dozens of Democrats boycott Netanyahu's speech. In Capitol Hill, protesters denounce Netanyahu's speech, and some are in favor of it. And Iran rejects Obama demand on 10-year freeze as talks continue. And heavy Iranian role in Tikrit offensive as Iraq shuns the U.S. And GOP leadership puts forth funding bill for DHS. And Supreme Court hears challenge to Obamacare. And Clinton avoids public record requests through private email account during state tenure. An attorney renews Snowden intent to return to the U.S. And Petraeus reaches plea deal in leak case. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, division of Rural Counties Television Network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made his case for stopping a nuclear deal with Iran in a congressional address that saw him compare the Iranian leadership to Islamic State and invoke the Nazi Holocaust. Netanyahu said an agreement would put Iran on a path to a nuclear weapon, and said this deal has two major concessions: one, leaving Iran with a vast nuclear program, and two, lifting the restrictions on that program in about a decade. That's why this deal is so bad. It doesn't block Iran's path to a bomb. It paves Iran's path to a bomb. Speaking at the White House, President Obama offered a rebuttal to Netanyahu's speech, saying his previous dire warnings about Iran's alleged nuclear capabilities have been wrong. Obama also said Netanyahu has offered no viable alternative to reaching an agreement. Well, I guess that's what he says. President Obama has no idea what to do in this negotiation. It seems that we will have to wait until 2016 when we get a leader in the White House who can lead us. Although Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu received a bipartisan welcome, around 50 House and Senate Democrats boycotted his address, including Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, Representative Lloyd Doggett of Texas, and Representative Jan Skandowski of Illinois criticized the comments. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi called the address insulting, and some other things that aren't worth mentioning because I don't even know why we report on her, but she said she's saddened by the condensation towards our knowledge and threat posed by Iran and our broader commitment to preventing nuclear proliferation. It seems that most Democrats are picking Iran over Israel for the future. Real patriots packed the speech and gave support to our true ally in the Middle East, Israel. Demonstrators also gathered on Capitol Hill to both support and oppose the speech by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Brian Becker, National Coordinator of the Answer Coalition, said Iran has the right to a peaceful nuclear power program. He said Iran, within the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, they have the right to develop nuclear power for civilian use, as does other countries on the planet, every other country. IAEA inspects Iran more than any other country in the world. Israel, on the other hand, refuses to sign, well, whatever. Typical progressive liberal retort when it comes to supporting Israel, as most left-leaning people support Islamic Muslim groups instead. Congressional address for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu comes as an Iranian nuclear talks continue in Switzerland. Secretary of State John Kerry is convening with Iranian counterpart Mohammad Javad Zarif as part of a bid to meet the March 31st deadline. Zarif has reportedly rejected President Obama's recent public demand that Iran freeze all sensitive nuclear activities for 10 years, calling it excessive and illogical. Iraq says it has recaptured several villages as part of an offensive to dislodge the self-proclaimed Islamic State Muslim terrorists from Tikrit. Iranian advisors and Iranian-backed Shiite militias are playing a key role in the campaign in the Sunni city, and reports of Iranian troops and an Iranian general in command. Iranian involvement comes as Defense Secretary Ashton Carter has confirmed the United States was not asked to take part. He said the Iraqi government in this case did not ask for our support in this particular operation. I think that we need to be watchful, and we take, together with the Iraqi government, take back territory with ISIL, that we continue to conduct the campaign in a multi-sectarian way because we're down the road of sectarianism in Iraq. Carter was speaking before the Senate panel, where he also disclosed Pentagon officials are facing an internal inquiry for telling reporters about a U.S.-backed plan to recapture the Iraqi city of Mosul. Carter says the information was inaccurate and should never have been blurted out to the press. Republican-controlled Congress has passed a bill for funding the Department of Homeland Security agency nearly shut down last week, as Republicans sought to link its budget to reversing President Obama's illegal executive action on immigration reform. But on Tuesday, House Speaker John Boehner brought a clean spending bill to the House floor, paving the way for passage of majority support from Democrats, measure funds DHS through the end of the year. President Obama's signature health care law is back before the U.S. Supreme Court in a case that could determine whether millions of low-income people lose their health insurance. Opponents of Obamacare are waging a technical argument against specific language in the law, which concerns tax subsidies to help people afford insurance. Law challengers claim the language does not allow people to receive subsidies if they get their insurance through a federal exchange instead of one established by the state. If the Supreme Court sides with the challengers, more than 9 million people in largely Republican states will have rejected state exchanges, could lose their health care. The case marks the third challenge of Obamacare in the Supreme Court. In 2012, the court narrowly upheld the individual mandate in the law's core. Last year, justices sided with religious corporations in the Hobby Lobby case, which weakened access to birth control. The New York Times reportedly presumed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's exclusive use of a personal email account during her tenure at the State Department was allowed her to thwart public records requests for her communications. Clinton's emails were not included in records provided by congressional investigators probing the 2012 attacks from the U.S. diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya, because Clinton used only a private account. It was not until last month House investigators received about 300 of Clinton's emails related to the attack after Clinton's advisors selected about 50,000 of her emails to provide to the State Department. Clinton did not have a government email address at all during her tenure as Secretary of State, and her aides failed to preserve her emails on the government servers, in a possible violation of federal law, of course. The Associated Press traced her email service to an internet service registered to her family's home in Chappaqua, New York. AP writes a highly unusual practice of a cabinet-level official physically running her own email would have given Clinton impressive control over limited access to her message archives. News outlets, including AP and Gawker, say that they have been unable to obtain Clinton's communications through the public records request of the State Department. Department spokesperson Mary Harf defended Clinton, of course. She said, "And as soon as we reach out to former Secretary Clinton provided emails covering the breadth of her time in the State Department on a wide variety of issues. It's my understanding that those are provided in that way." This is highly illegal, and Hillary might be in some hot water. It's obvious that she and her people filtered what emails were sent to the State Department. This will be something addressed in her run for the White House. An attorney for Edward Snowden has reasserted National Security Agency's whistleblowers' willingness to come home. Anatoly Kucherena says the team of international lawyers continue to work on terms that would see Snowden returned to the United States. Katerina says Snowden is prepared to end his asylum in Russia on a condition that he is given guarantee of legal and impartial trial. To date, Justice Department has only guaranteed he would not face the death penalty. Talk of Edward Snowden's return comes as government leaker of a certain different sort was reached a plea deal. Retired four-star general and hero, former CIA Director David Petraeus, will plead guilty to one count of unauthorized removal of retention of classified information. The FBI and federal prosecutors had recommended felony charges against Petraeus for providing classified information to a woman with whom he had extramarital affair. Petraeus resigned in 2012 and admitted cheating on his wife with his biographer, Paula Broadwell. Petraeus gave Broadwell access to a CIA email account and other sensitive material, including reportedly the names of undercover operatives in Afghanistan. Under his plea deal, Petraeus faces a maximum of 1 year in prison, though prosecutors will seek to suspend sentence that would spare him any time behind bars. And that's it for World News Today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. That's right, it's time for the police blotter, and the pictures in the blotter are not from these actual events but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County law enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Monday, 9:44 a.m., a caller from 100 block of West McKnight Way reported an attempted theft from a bank drop box. 11:01 a.m., a caller from business 400 block at Crown Point Circle reported transients staying overnight in the parking lot, urinating and leaving trash behind. Extra patrols were requested. 11:18 a.m., a caller from business 100 block on Mill Street reported a woman wearing a fur coat, flip-flops, and earmuffs was knocking things around over and muttering to herself. She then left and was going home. 11:23 a.m., a caller from 400 block of Sentinel Way reported a fraud. 11:26 a.m., a caller from Slate Creek and Ridge Roads reported a vehicle rollover with possible head injury. 11:42 a.m., a caller from 1000 block of Sutton Way reported wiring money in a scam. And 11:59 a.m., a caller from 2000 block of Nevada City Highway reported a man sleeping in front of a store. He agreed to move on. 12:18 p.m., a man from 100 block of Forest Glade Circle reported his tires were vandalized. 2:28 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Cypress Hill Drive reported a possible scam call. 4:06 p.m., a caller reported a possible embezzled vehicle. 6:16 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Olympia Park Road reported a vehicle was hit by rocks being thrown by a group of people walking on Brunswick Road. They could not be located. And Tuesday, 3:29 a.m., a caller from 100 block of Park Avenue reported a man under the influence of drugs and saying people were trying to stab him. He could not be located. And 3:56 a.m., a caller from 600 block at Kate Hayes Street reported a man looking into windows, banging on doors. He was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance, possessing a controlled substance, and drug paraphernalia, and violating probation. In Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Monday, 8:20 a.m., a woman from North San Juan reported a squatter. 8:28 a.m., a caller from 12,000 block of South Mac Road reported credit card fraud. 8:48 a.m., a man from 11,000 block of Old Pond Lane reported a lost steer and then called back to say he found his cow and there was no need for concern. And 10:35 a.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Croken Oak Court reported identity theft. It had been an attempted phone scam. 10:40 a.m., a caller from 10,000 block of San Francisco Street reported a trespasser who could not be located. 11:32 a.m., a caller from East Street reported a woman was stalking a man and had been banging on doors and windows before fleeing. 1:57 p.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Melody Road reported a recently paved driveway was vandalized. And 2:13 p.m., a caller from LaBar Meadow Roads and Old White Toll Roads requested a welfare check on horses. 3:59 p.m., a caller from Slate Creek Road reported identity theft. 7:06 p.m., a caller from Torrey Pines Drive reported a girl hitting vehicles with rocks and breaking windows. Juvenile was arrested on suspicion of resisting arrest. And 7:58 p.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Manzanita Drive reported power lines were down. And Tuesday, 3:43 a.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Comby Road reported a very drunk driver. And Nevada City Police Department on Monday, 9:45 a.m., caller from a business 700 block of Zion Street reported a person defecated and urinated and left trash in the donation area. And 10:47 a.m., a caller from 700 block of Zion Street reported alcohol poisoning. The person was taken to the hospital. 1:28 p.m., caller from 300 block of Springs Street requested welfare check on an emancipated puppy who could not be located. And Tuesday, 1:04 a.m., a caller from 300 block of Sacramento Street reported finding a bag of meth. What a surprise. And 3 a.m., a caller from 300 block of Sacramento Street reported a very intoxicated man refusing to leave. He was arrested on suspicion of being drunk in public and burglary. And that's it for the blotter today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's local news headlines, Nevada County fines Penn Valley Shopping Center owner $35,000 for tree cutting violations. Nevada County has fined the owner of the Penn Valley Shopping Center $35,700 in connection with cutting down 42 trees on the property, reportedly violating the property's approved landscape management plan. Owner operates under a conditional use permit, said Nevada County Deputy Counsel Katie Jacobs. To the tree cutting last weekend at Gateway Center by a new owner, Sacramento-based Ethan Conrad Properties, Inc. One of the terms of the permit is that he needs to have an approved landscape management plan, which he does, which he violated. County has also recorded a notice of violation on the property records. It creates a clouded title until it is corrected, she said. Jacobs added that the county was still exploring other remedies which we may or may not pursue. Conrad said Tuesday he had not yet received the notice of the fines in the mail and had no knowledge of the penalties. Ever since this issue has come up, we've moved on it, he said. We certainly want to have a good relationship with Nevada County. He said a meeting has been set for Wednesday with County Planning Director Brian Foss, Conrad's project manager Dwayne Cope, and project landscape architect to discuss the replacement landscape management plan and tree replanting schedule. Conrad, who said his firm manages 4 million square feet of commercial space in 160 buildings with 650 tenants throughout the greater Sacramento area, said the trees that had been in place at Gateway Center since it was built in 1988 were too large and not the right kind of space. Gateway Center has 50% vacancy rate, which Conrad said prospective tenants all attribute to the trees blocking the visibility of the retail storefronts. I brought in 4 or 5 potential tenants to look at it, and they all said got to get rid of the trees. At least one of the potential tenants was a large chain sandwich shop, such as Subway or Quizno, he said. We're all about making things better, curing problems and curing blight, he said. He added that his firm specialized in buying commercial real estate with problems or issues, putting in money and then improving the vacancy rate, getting them leased out. We follow all the rules, he said. County officials, however, said Conrad deliberately ignored the last 2 separate orders from Foss, Nevada County Supervisor Hank Weston, and planning staff that the trees were not to be cut. According to the Conrad, he relied on advice from his contractor, Larry Beaver of Penn Valley-based Timber Pro Logging and Tree Service, who told him the county did not need to sign off on the tree cutting. He's a tree expert, and he's been doing this in Nevada County for many years, Conrad said. He told us 4 or 5 times we didn't need to involve Nevada County in tree removal. Conrad said the county was sending conflicting messages. Cope, on February 9th, met with county planner who was open-minded about discussing the need for to relocate some of the trees, Cope told the union last week. I sent them an email that day, Conrad said. I said, please tell me today where it says the county has jurisdiction over the trees. Conrad said he did not hear back from the county for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, he gave the okay for Beaver to cut trees on February 21st and 22nd. Furious residents immediately flooded county offices with phone calls and emails all weekend and last week and posted more than 90 comments on Facebook. It took all our shade away, all our beauty, Kathy Orpiza, a hair salon owner in the center, told CBS TV Channel 13 in Sacramento on February 25th newscast. Those trees were beautiful. It made the complex look beautiful. Although the county citation are for cutting 42 trees, Beaver last week claimed he only cut down 18 or 20. Foss said county code enforcement officers investigated the property over several days, cross-checking every tree that was listed in the original 1988 landscape management plan. They found that more than 40 trees missing or cut down, Foss said. We're not in the city. We have trees up here. That's why we're here, or Pisa told Channel 13. Otherwise, we'd be in the cement. According to Jacobs, the $35,700 in fine is a result of 3 separate days of citations, with each day out of compliance being a separate citation. The fine rise with each succeeding day out of compliance, he said. For the first day, the fine was $100 a tree, or $4,200. For the second day, the penalty rose to $250 per tree, or $10,500. Third day, $500 per tree, or $21,000, totaling $35,700 for all 3 days. Jacobs said the citations were for failure to comply with the section of county's land use development code that concerns landscape plans. It's safe to say that it will be the county's goal to bring him back into compliance with landscape maintenance plan, either new or amended. Now that he's done this, he will have to bring it up to today's code, she added. Before he was working under the 1988 Land Use Development Code, but now he also has to bring it up to the 2015 Land Use Development Code. Conrad said he was bought over 250 buildings in the last 20 years, and I don't think that I've ever been charged any significant fines. He said he expected to be in negotiations with the county on the penalties. This is my first project in Nevada County, Conrad said. I hope it's not my last. well, don't cut down our trees. That's it.
Seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Grass Valley Television brings you local and world news, and we broadcast our 30-minute show 6 times a day on NCTV, Public Access, Comcast Cable, Channel 11 and 18. Also, we're on Sudden Link, Channel 16 and 18. We have 3 amazing series: Music, a 30-minute weekly show that airs 4 times a week, and Pride, Integrity, Guts, and Service, hosted by Sheriff Keith Royal and me on a bi-monthly series, plays 4 times a week. We're your community media, and if you have a business and would like to underwrite our shows, we offer almost 200 30-second spots a month on Comcast and Sudden Link. We also stream live on NevadaCountyTV.org and video on demand there, and our own websites, GVTV.org and GrassValleyTelevision.com. We also post to several Facebook pages and YouTube, Vimeo, Blip.tv, and many other sites on the web where we mirror our shows. We provide 30-second spots and a 60-second spot for you to embed on your webpage or whatever you want to do with it. For more information, you can call us 362-8889 or email grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. We will be happy to explain how your support of us will help us support you.